up, YouTube? It's a miracle here. I'm here to show y'all today how to clean your airbrushes. A lot of people want to get started airbrushing, but guess what? They don't know that with the airbrush, that's a lot of maintenance that's involved. You can't just airbrush and put it down and then come back 3 days later and then think your airbrush gonna work. No, you need it to be clean every time. So I'm making this video for all y'all just starting airbrushing. I'm making this for y'all. So I'm gonna show y'all my setup and how I clean my airbrushes, and we're gonna go from there. Of course, I only use Iwata airbrushes when I'm airbrushing because that's like what I love. I mean, I started out with another brand and then I moved to another brand, and then next thing you know, when I found Iwatas, I was like, you know what? This is my brand right here. So here we go. I'm gonna show you how to do this. All right, so you see, this is how I got my setup right here. You see I got my rags up, my measuring cup. I got this is an Ultrasonic Cleaner. It's made by Yukoki, but you can get any brand. I got that from Amazon for about $50. This is my custom micron, my baby. I haven't even used it yet. I just got it out because it's pretty and I like to talk to it sometimes. Call me crazy. But here we go. This is my Iwata trusty airbrush bag. We're gonna open this up right now. See if I can do this with one hand. I'm literally holding the camera and this right now. Something fell, but we'll get that right now. So hold up, we're gonna open this up. All right, cool. So we're gonna open this up. As you can see, these are all my babies right here. We got, this is my, this is my B right there. You know, this tool is important. You want to keep that out. I'll show y'all what that is. This tool is important. I'm going to show y'all what that is. Of course, all made by Iwata. This is what we're using today. This is a HPC. See that? This is a HPC. This is the one I like using. As you can see, I modified it. I put a new trigger on there, but that's later on. I had this sitting from a last portrait I did. But we're going to take this apart, and I'm going to show y'all how I dismantle mine. All right, so I'm going to get y'all to watch this and just hang tight. I'm going to set the camera up so y'all can see how I take it apart. All right, but this is a trusty Iwata bag. I keep my brushes in here that I'm not using and all my quick disconnects. And then any color cups I may have, I'll stick them inside this bag. But, you know, I said I got spare quick disconnects. And my other babies, you know, these are ones that I'm not using right now. You know what I'm saying, along with that one. But you want to have plenty of them handy so that whichever one you're using, if that one, you know, goes out, and it usually take a long time for these to go out. I've had these brushes all for years. All right, so let me go ahead and put this right here, and I'll show y'all how we dismantle these. All right, y'all, so here we go. I'm sure y'all can see this like this. The video might actually be a little backwards because I'm using the front camera, but I want to show y'all this. Like, you see this? This is the Iwata. What you want to do is you want to screw this off to the back like this, right? And that'll expose the needle chuck, all the thread inside. So what you want to do basically is you want to take this off, screw it, right? I turn to the left. See, this loosens up your needle, but if your needle is dry in there, what you're going to want to do is, right, I like to take everything else out first just to give me a little wiggle room. See, and all this screws out. Now, this is an HPC. Some of them are different, and you'll notice the difference, but it's the same principle. There's a little spring in here. You want to take that out too, right? The spring comes off of this piece, and then this piece comes off. So I'll kind of try to keep it so that you can see how it looks when it's dismantled. So as I'm taking all this off, I'm kind of like leaving it kind of in the order that it goes back together. So, and now with the needle, you kind of want to twist it just to loosen it up. Because if it's in there, you see that gook? You do not want that. I did this on purpose so I could show y'all this video. You do not want all that paint on there. All right, now, this is my V2 trigger. I love those triggers. We'll put that up here. Take this off, because this goes behind that, right? So I'm just kind of taking everything apart so I could kind of show y'all how it goes. Then this top part screws off like this, right? See that? Pops off. Now, this piece is actually two pieces. You really don't got to clean both of them, but see it pops off and you got two pieces. The crown. I'll leave that off. And then this little piece right here made by Iwata, you can get it on Amazon. It's probably backwards on the video, which is fine. Like you can see that it's made by Iwata. Basically what you want to do with this is, it's a little groove inside there, a little space. It goes on here so that you won't damage it, because you don't want to damage this piece. You got to be really careful. You don't want to over tighten it or try to screw it too hard to get it off. So you put it on there, it's a little groove. You see it locks it in place. Like you try to turn it lightly, it won't turn. Then you just want to kind of turn that. And see how I'm turning it? And then once that's off, that comes off. And I'll show you that in a few seconds. Now, and then what's left is just your body. I mean, you can take your quick disconnect piece off. It doesn't really matter, it's fine. But you want to be careful that when you screw your quick disconnect off, you don't screw this off, because you lose that, you're gonna be a problem. Now I'm gonna show you what that is. See that? You can't even connect a hose to it with that piece on there. So I usually screw that back on if it comes off with it. Right? And then try to just get the quick disconnect off by itself. See that? It's a difference. I want y'all to be aware of that. Don't screw this piece off. If you got one of the older models. This is one of the Iwatas that was made like in the 80s. So it's made a little different than the newer ones. But I'm just glad y'all got a chance to see that. All right, so let me show y'all what this looks like dismantled. All right, y'all. So dismantled, this is how it looks. Let's get that water in there. So as you can see, like these are all my pieces dismantled, and this is pretty much how the brush look when it's apart. But you kind of want to just make sure that you know in and out how to take your airbrush apart. Because if you don't, you're going to be in a world of trouble. All right. Now I'm going to show y'all how I clean mine. Now, what I like to do is I like to just kind of take my nails sometimes, as you can see it, and just scrape this off. Some artists use sandpaper. Some people use something else. But I'm going to go ahead and take my nail and just show you how it works just as good as sandpaper. People always ask me, like, why is your thumbnail so long? Because I'm an airbrush artist, you know, painter, graphic designer, but I spend a lot of time cleaning my airbrushes off, you know, so I'm gonna go ahead and scrape this off and show y'all what it look like. But see how it's coming right off? All right, so let's go ahead and do that, and then I'll show y'all the little things I do. So this is step one. I like to clean the needle off. So I don't know if y'all can remember how gooky it was, but see how much I got off of there? I got like 85% of it off. The rest of it, the ultrasonic cleaner will take care of. All right, so you'll put that aside. Next thing you want to do is this. You want to take this tool right here. This set us on Amazon as a part of a airbrush cleaning kit. See, when you screw this open, you want to be careful because there is a very sharp, almost like a needle inside here. But you want to use this to clean out this little piece right here. Now, I recommend you finding an old one that you have and clean that out first, because you can damage this, and these little pieces are expensive. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out and show you. But with this particular piece, actually, let me flip the camera around so I can show y'all. All right, y'all, I don't know if y'all can see this, but you kind of want to, I'm sure there's all types of paint in here, but you kind of just want to, what I like to do is just put it, see how it's in there right now? I don't know if this is clear. Yeah. How close can I get? Can I get that close? Can you see it? All right, well, you just want to kind of put it in there to where it's literally, you're not pushing it, you're not struggling, and just twist it around. Because if you look at this, it has a little tiny groove on it. It's cut with a little tiny groove so that it could just like clean out paint. So I just kind of put it in there to where it's just in there. And then I twist it. And I'm telling you, it will get the edges of that you need to get all that excess paint out. And then if you want, you can even take your nail and just scrape the tip before you pull it back in. And if you look at this, it got paint on it because it cleaned it out. And that's all you really need to do with that. And then that's ready for the ultrasonic cleaner as well. Now, for the rest of this, it's self-explanatory. You don't really gotta do too much. You can just sit it in an ultrasonic cleaner. It's just from sitting. Now today, I'm probably just gonna use some soapy water. But you can use Windex. Don't use too much because you don't want to over clean it with Windex or jewelry cleaner or anything like that because it can damage some of the finish on there. So let's go ahead and put this in the ultrasonic cleaner. Oh, before we do that, let me show you what you need. Hold on. Inside of here, prayerfully I stuck it back in here. I might not have. So inside my trusty Iwata bag. Oh, I didn't stick it in here. All right, so inside of here, as you can see, inside of here, you can't really see it, but it's a long tube inside there. See it now? See how you want to make sure that's clear? What I have are these. You want to get yourself some of these from Amazon. They're like little brushes that actually clean the inside of the airbrush out. And you want to get the one, they got the small one on it. See this little small one? Because that gets up inside this little piece up front. So I think there's an even smaller one there. See that one right there? This one right here is an even smaller one. So yeah, that's zoomed in real good right there. So see how small that is? That gets up in there because paint gets lodged inside that little chamber. So you kind of want to clean that out. Get in there real good. I mean, you can't see it like I can, but it's like a lot of red paint on here. I forgot what in the world I was painting. I was painting something red. But I usually do this before and after the ultrasonic cleaner just to get kind of any residual paint out of there. I don't worry about the color cup too much because that's going to get dirty every day, every time you use it. So there we go. All right, so I cleaned it out, blowing it, pause, blowing inside of it, make sure it's clean. And then what we'll do is we're going to stick it in the ultrasonic cleaner. So that's next. All right, this is my Yukoki, however you pronounce it, ultrasonic cleaner. As you can see, it's cleaned out. What I normally do is, and I got my water and I got my brush right here. So what I like to do is I like to just kind of place things in there like, you know, just like that, wham, put that in there like that. All your little, only thing I don't put in there is my trigger. Why? Because that little piece falls out. So I just manually clean my trigger. I learned that the hard way. Don't do it. But it also led me to get a new trigger. So I just put everything in there. Right? Except my trigger. I even put the needle in there. All right, so what I'm gonna use today, like I said, if you don't have airbrush cleaner, sometimes I use Windex, sometimes I use soap. Today I'm using a little bit of this mixture I made. This is not like jewelry cleaner. It's like, sometimes I will use this Blitz jewelry cleaner. Do not run it through 3 or 4 times with the jewelry cleaner because you're going to be upset. All right, sometimes I use this, not too much. Sometimes I take the old bottles and I make my own little mixture up of like reducer, airbrush cleaner. Mix them two together. But here, if you're going to use this mixture that I got, you just kind of want to use, and I'll show you how to make that in another video. Kind of like 4 capfuls, but I've been doing it for so much, I can kind of measure out how much a capful is for me. See that? Look at that little bit of cleaner I put in there, right? All right, so as you can see, I got some really hot water. I don't know if you can see the steam coming up, but I'll go ahead and pour that in, not too much, just kind of enough to cover the brush and see a little bit of soap. Right? So once I got that in there, what I do is I go ahead on this spring, you got degas and then you got a couple of them. So usually what I do is I go ahead and turn it on. Those are seconds. So what I'll do is hit this button first it'll get all of the gas bubbles out of there. But if you hit, let me show you the difference. So if I hit that, this is what it does. I'll show you in a few seconds what it does. Right? See that? And you just want to let it run, and it will just count down. You know, you see how it just cut off, right? It's not off. It's going to cut back on. What it does is, like, every 6 seconds it cut off, and it cuts back on. It's called degassing. It like gets all the air bubbles and stuff out of your mixture. So I'll just go ahead and let that run. But I'm not gonna make y'all watch the whole video running it down. You know, and I'm probably gonna run it through probably like twice. So that's it. All right. As you can see, when it's done, it goes back to 180 seconds. You can do it all the way up to, let's see, about 480, but for today we're just gonna go down to 180. Let me pop it open. As you can see, the water turned red. It's from all that red paint that was inside there, just being irresponsible. That's what happens sometimes. Like when you pick up a lot of orders, you're gonna be irresponsible sometimes, but I would recommend you not doing that. For the purpose of this video, I left it there so I could show y'all how to clean it. But if you look inside of here, don't worry about the gook that's inside there. Just make sure there ain't no chunks inside there, because if it's chunks, that's when you're gonna have a problem. But as you can see, it still comes off. Your main thing is making sure the inside of that hole is clean. But like I said, we'll put the whole thing back together. I'll take everything out. Listen to me carefully. Make sure you got every piece out of here. I have left major pieces in here and went to clean it out and saw it go down the sink. And it's going to cost you some money. So the worst thing you could do is work on projects, and the project will end up costing you more money because you got to buy new parts. So just a little word of advice for people, for new artists. I'm getting the rest of these out of here, see? And then you just gotta put it back together. So make sure you dry it off real good before you put it back together. I know some artists that use lube. I use lube sometimes, but you'll know whether or not you need to use lube once you try to use it, because you want it to be fluid. Remember how dirty that was? Look how clean it gets it. You see that now? The only thing that I would suggest is that you don't put it in too much jewelry cleaner, because it does eat away at the finish. You probably just want to use airbrush cleaner and reducer. So that's why I make my own mixture up sometimes. All right, so like I said, in case of emergencies, you can use it, but use it sparingly. All right, so let's put this puppy back together real fast. All right, so maybe I'll do this in a time lapse. Let's see what I'm doing. I'm still getting the gook out of here. Like I like to do a twice over, because the stuff you didn't get on the first run, you always can get on the second run. Now with this piece, remember, you want to order this piece. Don't be cheap. It's probably like $12. I'd rather spend $12 now than have to spend $50 later, because trust me, you will drop this piece. It will crack. Not this one, this one. Trust and believe me when I tell you, I'm a very careful person, and there's been plenty of occasions where I've dropped that piece, which led me to say I need to buy multiple airbrushes and have multiple parts around. So it's just a word of wisdom. It's not even a word of advice. Some things are words of advice, and some things are words of wisdom. So that's a word of wisdom for y'all. Please invest in one of these. I'll send the link. I'll put the link at the bottom of this video for Amazon to buy every piece. All right. And make sure you get one of these. It will save you. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you. I wish somebody would have told me. All right, but if you, I mean, you can see how stunningly clean these things are. Like, you would be like, wow, it's really clean. Yeah, yes, it gets the job done when you gotta clean it. But I like to put the tip on first and the crown, just because I like protecting my needle. See how I'm doing it? If y'all want me to make a video on like in slow motion of how to put this back together, let me know. I will. But the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I want you to know how your brush works. Like, don't rely on somebody else's like experience to figure out how your brush goes back together. Like, just know that it's little stuff you can help you with, like which way is forward and which way is backward. Like, this piece goes in like this. You want to have a backward C. Little stuff like that, I don't mind, like, you know, saying like, hey, like, yeah, look, that's what you're supposed to do. But the purpose of this is to show you what to do and slightly how to do it. But you learn better when you do it yourself. Trust me, you learn better when you do it yourself. See that? Press that down. Make sure you got some fluidity there. This goes in. Make sure this little groove is on the bottom. Make sure it's like that. Make sure it's going. It's a little socket it goes in. See that? And then it stops. Then your spring goes on. Then after the spring goes on, this piece goes on. See that? Make sure y'all got that because it's very important. Remember, I'll do it again. A little slim with the groove at the bottom. See that little groove? Slide that on. Then your spring. Then this piece. I like to make sure it's tight in there, right? Don't put this on yet because you want to make sure you get your needle on. I like to guide my needle with my ring finger and then slide it in. It prevents you from damaging it. You got to, because it gives you a little bit more leverage of getting it in there perfect. See how you guide it in there? See that? Don't push it fast because you're going to be upset and you're going to be buying a new needle. Push it in there until you feel like it just got a little bit of pressure. And then you put this on. And then I do the test. See that? And you can see the needle moving. And then I put the back piece on. I only did this to my back piece. Like, you're not going to appreciate this back piece until you've then airbrushed for 24 hours straight. And you can feel the difference and the pressure back here. Because see, this sits on my little piece back here. And then I put this on. Now, I guarantee you, all that red paint that's in there, like, I can show y'all something, what the jewelry cleaner does. Now, this mixture I got, you see how it's in there, right? Like, it's nice and red. I don't know if y'all can see how red it is in there. Watch this. That stuff is so strong that all I gotta do is run my nail in there. So you can see the power of an ultrasonic cleaner. If I run my nail in there, it will literally start getting all of that paint out of there. Now, some people use a drill and they'll like stick like a piece of paper, or some people use sandpaper. I've seen people use all types of things to clean out their airbrushes. But like I said, whatever you choose to use, you know, maybe you'll show me something and be like, oh, I use this and it worked for me. You know, whatever you use, that's what we're here for, to help each other. But I just want to show you how this gets this stuff out. Now, if I sat here, if I really, really was feeling like, yo, I want a pristine brush, I don't know if you can see it, how much it got out just by that little bit of moving around. But like I said, for the purpose of this video, I don't want it, I just want it to be functional because I'm about to use this and go hand with it. So, but if it was a point where I was going to let it sit for a couple of months and use a different brush, then I would clean this out to make it look like I just purchased it. All right, but so that's how you do it. That's how you clean an HPC Iwata brush. All right, and there you have it. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon on the next video. Okay, Iwata.